Go.
Just because you've landed a trick doesn't mean you've learned it. So when you land a trick, use it as an opportunity to think about how it's the first step. I got dizzy, dude. Let's do it again.
No.
Okay. So just because you've landed a trick doesn't mean you've learned it. When you learn a trick, it means you can have the concepts of staying engaged, opening up towards the direction you're going, staying on that lead foot, and being able to, adapt to a different obstacle and do different variations. So for example, nollie flips off of a short nose mani, nollie flips out of a long nose mani, you holding, being able to do those things and all those different that trick is contextual to the trick you've landed in different contexts, means you've learned it, right? And so a big mistake I see skaters do is they land a trick once and they get confident with it, they leave it for a while, and when they come back or they try it on a different obstacle, it becomes something that seems very foreign to them. So that doesn't happen to you, you want to make sure you're applying these concepts as you continue to land them, so that you can eventually learn it, right? Get it and have it in your bag so that you can use it for a street part, film it for a street park. You can film it at the park, or even just take it to different skate parks and different spots. So I'm going to do this trick a good amount of times. Each couple of times I'm going to talk about how I'm applying these concepts that help me get this trick unlocked, or that helped me get this trick unlocked. Because at first, the trick, when I first landed it, it was kind of just a flick and hope I landed, right? I was just sticking all of them. But as I continued to progress on them, it was more of, okay, what's actually working, what actually isn't, and always just trying to get better as I, got more consistent with them, right? Because it was no longer good enough. It was no longer like satisfying to just land it. I was more looking at, okay, did it feel good instead of it looking good, right? So this one, as you learn things, you should focus more on how it feels, because that's gonna give you that feedback that you need, so that you can progress it 1% every time. So I'm gonna do two, one going that way, one coming this way. And once we meet back here, I'm gonna elaborate on these concepts. I so badly want to redo the video right now. Oh. Okay. So the biggest takeaway is, you haven't learned a trick when you're fatigued and you can't land it, right? Usually when you have a go-to trick.
Wait, so you would say you didn't learn?
No, I'm saying like if you can't land a trick when you're fatigued, I'm still gonna land it.
Yeah.
That means you didn't learn it. At least my subjective.
That's like a key point.
Yeah, key point. If you can't do the trick, huh?
You can say like 5 key points.
Well, I don't even know if I have 5, but one of the key points is, if you're fatigued and you can't land your trick, that means you haven't learned it, right? You may have landed it a couple times, but you haven't learned it, right? To learn is to be able to understand it and replicate that same trick over and over. So there's been plenty of tricks that I've done, like Manny double tray flip out, but I wouldn't say I've learned them. I've learned them. I've landed them. Wow, I'm tired. Okay, let's do it. Reset. I was leaned in too far with this second one. And the first one, I did more of a kick. And so when I was the first few, not even the first few, you know, maybe even the first 200 to 200 nose manning nollie flips I did were a lot of that kicking down, right? It wasn't until I started to, you know, think more about how it felt, and I realized that didn't feel so good. And so moving forward, after I realized that, I paid more attention about how I can get a good flick, you know, get a good nollie flick. And the way I did that, little by little, was by being intentional about actually, you know, externally rotating the ankle, right? And so that's what I'm focused on feeling at the moment, right? And still, I kind of, like right now when I'm fatigued, I resort back to that pattern, that bad habit, because you have to think, or at least I did that trick so many times with the bad habit of just kicking down instead of actually flicking out. And so here, you know, we're gonna actually apply that flicking out concept and see how it goes for these next two. I did not land good. Second one, the first one, I flicked out, but it wasn't as strong. Sorry, it wasn't enough to get the full rotation. That could be because I'm fatigued, most likely. But it's okay. Because I've learned this trick, I understand that I just need to put a little bit more strength on the flick, or maybe even just keep myself engaged a bit more, and that's gonna allow me to land it. And so being able to adjust depending on how you feel and what the spot is another sign, another key point. So we got two that you can land this trick. So being able to do it when you're fatigued, being able to adjust to the, you know, situation. Two. I thought I was gonna slip out. That's kind of scary. Okay. I need more of a break. So it's like self-awareness, right? Being able to adjust comes from being self-aware, understanding what you need to land that trick. So right now you can see my shooting percentage is not good right now. So that just tells me I need to take more time to reset, be a little more humble, and then go back. All right? Okay, right here. All right. Honestly, I felt like the truck was kind of crooked. Okay, ready? Alright, so they're still kind of going, my foot is still flicking down. So I'm thinking I'm going a bit too fast, where I'm not able to really stabilize myself. So I'm gonna go a little slower so I can slow down everything and not be so rushed, right? My muscles aren't reacting the way that I feel like they, or the way they can when they're fresh. So also, learning this trick made it okay for me to not actually stick even the ones where I go into the nose manual wrong way. And so that was a really good insight that I learned. Which ones, not that I learned, but I was able to experience enough failure that I learned which ones are not worth trying to stick, because I knew I wasn't gonna like them, and it also was going to be building on top of bad habits. So like for the nose manis that I just got on, I was very shaky. No, look at my whole body. I got on, I was very shaky. Not too much, dude.
Your whole body.
Yeah, but I was very shaky, and you don't want to, you know, compensate through tension and just hold it, force it. You want to feel more fluid. So that includes the beginning of the trick. Even though the best part of this trick is the nollie flip, you still have to consider how getting into the nose mani is influencing the nollie flip out, right? And so if you get in very shaky, chances are that the chances of the nollie flip not coming out the way you want to increases. So also, once you start learning the trick, you're able to be detached from every attempt. You know, you're okay with just kind of feeling them out sometimes, because you're able to commit to the ones that actually matter, right? Right. That was like the best one yet. Now I'm feeling like they're getting there. That's not the best I've done, but I feel like I'm starting low, ending low. I get into the nose manual fairly well, and so I'm confident with the flick because I'm flicking from a stable position, right, from my lead foot. And so checking off these concepts, like, am I staying over the lead foot? Am I opening up? Do I feel engaged? Being able to check those things off as I do this trick is a really good sign, right? If no matter how hard you try, you find yourself forcing these three, but it's not coming out, then you're obviously missing something, right? And that means you haven't learned it, which is okay. That just, you know, you get to decide, is this a trick I want to learn, or is it a trick I'm okay with just landing a couple of times, right? I think this is kind of like a tangent, but for tricks that people want to film in the street or for projects, those tricks, for the most part, are tricks that people have learned, right? It's very, I wouldn't say it's rare actually, but it's not the best strategy to be filming tricks for projects that you are just doing once and that's it, right? Everyone's style is different. There are obviously people on that side where they're just filming tricks that they haven't learned, or they once learned but they lost and they had to relearn but haven't, you know. But for the most part, you want to make sure you're learning tricks you want to film for projects. Tangent right there. I'm gonna just do 2 more and then we're gonna wrap it up, because I think these are gonna be good. So those actually felt like my foot, my ankle was able to externally rotate, so that was a good sign. I don't know if you saw it from your end. How did those look?
I didn't really see. They look good, but I didn't see your end.
Well, I can say, like, I can feel that they weren't as proper as they usually are when I'm fully recovered and, you know, fresh legs or warmed up legs. Right now, I'm doing this trick with legs that have been used throughout the whole day, which is fine. But, you know, like I said, if you're able to do your trick when you're fatigued but it's not perfect, that means you learn them. So you want to look for those things, right? Once you can land a trick when you're fatigued, once you can analyze if you're applying these concepts, the ones I've mentioned, like staying over the lead foot, opening up, engagement, you can analyze and those concepts are there. Being able to adjust, you know, adapt to the obstacle or, you know, that context, whatever you're skating, is another good sign. So having said that, maybe you want to start thinking about it would be in your favor to start thinking about what are some tricks that you want to learn, and kind of, you know, look forward to doing more than just landing certain tricks, you know. So having said that, you want to say anything else? I feel like I'm missing something.
Maybe also a thing to know that you've learned it is probably not feeling too rushed.
Oh,
or like not rushing yourself, like you're able to actually process it.
sure. I would say, yeah, like if the whole trick feels rushed, that's not a good sign, because
That's kind of
yeah, that is pretty much synonymous with trying to force it. You want to feel it. You want to be able to feel it.
Yeah, you said force.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. Being rushed is synonymous with being forced.
Yeah.
You want to be able to feel this trick, or whatever trick you want to learn, right? So, yes, having said that, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments, questions for elaboration. Let me know what this topic made you think of. What are some tricks you've learned already? What are some tricks you've landed but you want to improve on and get to a point where you've learned them? Other than that, if you're interested in lessons or coaching, you can hit me up at profe.carlos on Instagram. Till next time.